really honored to have the new CEO and president of the CBCF, Nicole Hillery. Welcome to WIN TV.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor.
I know that you're looking and sounding very calm right now, but you have a major event in person this year coming up at the convention center. Talk to us a little bit. We'll do some background, but talk to us a little bit about first, welcome, and how you came to become CEO and president of CBCF.
Well, I'm glad that you say I look calm. It's all about optics. So I'm going to try to maintain this demeanor. I am so excited about the upcoming ALC. As you say, it is our first time returning in person since the start of the pandemic, and people are excited about it. I can't tell you how many calls, the phones are ringing off the hook, emails are popping. Everyone wants to make sure that they are registered and get in the place and have a space in the room now that we've returned to in person. And, it's a critical moment too. I know that the excitement is not just about the fact that we are returning to an in-person ALC. It's also about the fact that we as Black America are facing some truly critical issues at this time in 2022. And so the need for us to all come together to collectively focus on the threats to the Black community and what our strategies will be to support the community, what policy initiatives we need to put in place. All of those things are vitally important right now. So the excitement is really twofold. And I also have to tell you, it's interesting for me. I have been myself an ALC panelist for so many years because of my background and the work that I have done. So it's such an honor and a privilege to now serve as the president and CEO of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, where I now get to oversee this event and really see how, if you will, the sausage is made, and really have a greater understanding and appreciation for all the work that goes into this. This is the nation's largest Black public policy forum that takes place each year. So we are about some serious business here, and we take pride in the fact that we are providing this opportunity and this space for Black America, Black thinkers, advocates, grassroots folks, community folks to come together and really be collective problem solvers.
It's Nicole, I'm so glad you said so many things in that I really want to kind of follow up on. We've been covering the CBCF for 51 years, remembering how the organization started. And I do want to talk a little bit about that. But, one of the challenges that we had over the years, and I think it was your challenge as well, is to let people know, as you said, how substantive this gathering is. It became sort of a joke that it was a big party. But for those that came during the day and actually sat in those sessions and listened to all that was being discussed, you realize that you're missing out if you only showed up for a party. So can you talk about how the members of the Congressional Black Caucus with their what do you call them, their sessions, I forgot what they're called, but anyway,
brain trust.
Thank you. My brain I couldn't trust my brain. Yeah, but I mean, each one, let's talk about what some of those brain trusts are going to be this year and what those topics are, and the members of the CBC who are participating.
And I'm so glad that you just noted, as you did historically, what this conference has been about. This conference has always, from its genesis, been about how do we come together as a Black community and have real frank discussions with experts about the issues that are impacting our community. That is what it has always been about. Look, we all like to have fun. There's no conference that goes on in Washington that doesn't also have as an ancillary add-on fun events, receptions, and et cetera. But let's make no bones about it. The genesis of this conference, the reason why it takes place is because we have to be problem solvers. And we need to have a place where Black America can come together at least once a year from all over the country and talk about what is going on in the nation and how we need to further empower our community. And so, in order to be responsive to that, we have over 100 sessions that are on the agenda for this year's ALC. And we're going to be tackling issues from economics to the health disparities that we have faced over the past 2 years as a Black community. And we all know that we've had health disparities in our communities long before COVID. But the thing that the pandemic did was it brought it to light, not for us, because we've always known about it, but for the rest of the country, and in fact, for the rest of the world. And so we're going to leverage this moment that we have, where the rest of the world is focusing on these issues, and we're going to have discussions about what now? What now, almost 3 years into a pandemic, do we have to do to try to level the playing field around health disparities? We're going to have discussions on reparations. We're going to have discussions on debt. And we certainly are going to have discussions on voting rights. We know that we are in a primary, a season where we're about to have elections. Primaries are wrapping up, but we're going to have general election in November. And the country is facing leaders who are trying to move into the governor's offices, who are trying to move into Senate seats, who don't necessarily have the best interests of Black America at heart. So it behooves us all to be in the room and to talk about how do we arm ourselves with the information that we need, because we know that knowledge is power. We know that when we're talking about changes to voting rights laws in states across the country, that the only way you can come prepared to the polls is if you have the information about whether your polling place has changed or whether you need an ID or any of that information. So that's what we are here to provide. And I want to lastly say this in response to your question, because this is one of the reasons why I'm at CBCF. I have a background as a civil and human rights attorney. And when CBCF called and asked me, would I be interested in taking on this role as a new president and CEO, I said to them very clearly, and they welcomed it. I said very clearly, I am coming to the table as someone who has been an expert working on racial justice issues, criminal justice issues, voting rights, surveillance, privacy, all of these issues. And I am going to bring that to bear on my new role, because I think that we as the foundation have a role to play to educate and provide information to Black America. And they said, yes, Nicole, that's why we've reached out to you. That's why we're calling you, because we want to double down on that work and that part of who we are. So that's what you all are going to see manifested at the ALC. We are going to have fun, because that's what we do as a people, as a community. That is a part of how we nourish ourselves and keep ourselves going. But make no bones about it. The purpose of this conference is for us to focus on how we fix the problems in the Black community. And these conversations aren't going to stop with ALC. We at the CBCF are doing community conversations throughout the year. We did one in March in Detroit. We're doing one during ALC to focus on Black Washington and the power of Black Washingtonians. And we're going to be in Tulsa in December talking about reparative justice and the impacts of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre that are still impacting that community. And we're going to continue having these kinds of discussions and events and opportunities for folks to coalesce around strategy throughout 2023. So that's how we're moving forward, and really, again, underscoring the purpose of why we exist and why this ALC exists.
So I want to bring up one other point, though, about why you exist, because I know that the foundation is the nonprofit arm. It's not the members of Congress are, I think, represent your board, but you are a nonprofit organization, and this also helps to support your Congressional Black Caucus Fellows program and a lot of other. Can you talk about the influence that you've had on future legislators by what CBCF does to sort of shape that community?
And I love talking about that. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because if you hadn't, I was going to get it in. Because folks need to understand, yes, the CBCF, the foundation, we are a separate entity. We are a nonprofit 501c3 entity. And we were started in 1976 by the few members of the Congressional Black Caucus that existed then. We now have over 50. We were started to do three things: to serve as a leadership pipeline for Black America, to provide research and strategic information on the issues of concern, which is part of what I just talked about, and then to be an educational tool for Black America. That is our threefold focus. And that's our purpose in trying to empower Black America, which is at the heart of our mission. So the Leadership Institute is the arm through which we provide myriad scholarships, fellowships, and internships. We put more Black interns on Capitol Hill, in the White House, and in C-suite offices and corporate offices collectively more than any other organization. And
Wow.
we believe that, again, in order to empower Black America, we have to ensure that we are creating, nurturing, and supporting Black leadership. And look, we have examples right now. Congresswoman Underwood, who is sitting in Congress right now, she is a prime example of our Leadership Institute. She came through our program as an intern previously, and we know she is on Capitol Hill, and she is, as I like to say in the words of the late great John Lewis, she is making good trouble. And we have interns all over the country. We have interns who are executives with major corporations. We have interns who are serving in leadership roles in local and state governments. But that is such a crucial part of what we do. We believe that we have to invest in the future of Black America by ensuring that we have leaders who can represent our voices and our communities. And that is a primary focus of what we do.
Nicole, I know that you have a lot on your plate right now, and I really appreciate the fact that you were able to take a few minutes to talk to us about the CPCF ALC coming up on the 28th. Can you share with us, for those who want to attend, what's the best way to do that?
Please go to our website, which is CBCF Inc., so cbcfinc.org. And you will see a link there telling you exactly where to click so that you can get all the information you need for ALC. And we really, really want to see as many folks in the room as possible. And we have protocols in place. We're trying to also keep folks safe. As we said, make no bones about it. We're still living in a pandemic. We want to bring folks together safely, but we want people in the room. And we also are offering a hybrid option. So for those folks who cannot be in Washington, because we know it's important, we don't want this to be an opportunity just for those folks who are lucky and privileged enough to be in Washington. We want to make it accessible to Black Americans and all Americans, in fact, who want to be engaged through online. So please go to that website again, cbcfinc.org, and you'll see all the information there. And we're happy to answer questions and guide you, because we really want you to be, again, a part of this collective brain trust, if you will.
Well, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes of your time to talk with us today. And we want to get you back on because, this is it's a midterm elections. We're talking about, what happens next year. We've got a former president who's putting some weird messages out there that, Black folks need to sort of understand and get translated. So anything that you want to share with us, and we'll have questions for you, we certainly want to get you back on after you've had a moment to woosah after after the conference.
I appreciate that. But look, it would be my honor to come on anytime you want to have me. As I said, we've got a lot of important work to do in Black America, and we have to do it collectively. It takes a village, as we all know. So I would be happy to be here whenever you would like me to join you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You
Great
as well.
weekend.
Take care.
All righty.